When you think of Michael Jackson, what comes to mind? The moonwalk, the single white glove, the electrifying stage presence. But for some, a deeper curiosity lingers, one that goes beyond the music and the myths. It's a curiosity about his private world, his sanctuary. And, what is more fundamental to a home than the ground you walk on? Fans have long wondered about the smallest details of his life at Neverland Ranch and his other homes. They want to know what he saw, what he touched, and yes, what was under his feet. The carpets became a symbol of this mystery, a piece of his hidden life that people desperately wanted to understand, as if the threads could tell a story that Michael himself never would. The rumors about what lay beneath Michael Jackson's feet were as wild and varied as the stories about his life. One of the most persistent myths was that his carpets were embedded with precious materials. Some whispered that threads of real gold and silver were woven into the designs, creating a literal royal pathway through his home. Others claimed that tiny diamonds or other jewels were scattered within the fibers, catching the light as he walked. These stories painted a picture of unimaginable opulence, fitting for the king of pop. They suggested a man so detached from reality that he walked on treasure, a fairy tale prince living in a modern world. Another set of rumors took a darker turn, connecting the carpets to his reclusive nature and alleged eccentricities. There were whispers that the floors were covered in unusually thick soundproof carpeting to ensure absolute silence and privacy. This story fed into the image of Michael as a fragile figure shielding himself from the harsh sounds of the outside world. When we separate the rumors from reality, a much clearer picture of Michael Jackson's homes emerges. Interviews with his staff, decorators, and those who knew him personally, along with extensive photographic evidence, tell a different story. The truth is, Michael did have a preference for fine carpets and ornate flooring, but the tales of gold threads and embedded jewels are pure fiction. His decorators, such as Kai Chase, his personal chef, and other staff members, have described his homes as meticulous, elegant, and clean. The flooring choices were about creating an atmosphere of classical European grandeur and comfort, not about walking on a literal fortune. The opulence was in the artistry and craftsmanship, not in precious metals. The idea of secret passages under the carpets is another myth that has been thoroughly debunked. While his homes, particularly Neverland Ranch, were large and had many rooms, their construction was conventional. Security was a major concern for Michael, but it was managed through advanced alarm systems, gates, and a dedicated security team, not through hidden tunnels beneath the floorboards. Michael Jackson's choices in flooring were deeply connected to his health, lifestyle, and even his artistic expression. He suffered from vitiligo, which is a skin condition that causes loss of pigment, and lupus, an autoimmune disease. Both conditions can cause increased sensitivity to sunlight and other environmental factors. His desire to create a controlled, comfortable indoor environment was not just a matter of preference, but, honestly, also a matter of health. His famous dance moves also played a role. Michael was an artist who used his entire body as an instrument. While he performed on hard stages around the world, his private spaces needed to be places of rest and recovery. However, he was also known to practice his moves constantly, wherever he was. The famous footage of him dancing at Neverland often shows him on smooth, polished wood surfaces, allowing him to glide and spin with the freedom that defined his art. The aesthetic of his homes was an extension of his personal style. On stage, he was all about sparkle, military jackets, and high-fashion glamour. In his private life, this translated into a love for classical, almost royal aesthetics. His carpets and floors reflected this. The carpets and floors of Michael Jackson's homes, especially Neverland Ranch, were more than just decorative elements. They were a canvas for his imagination. In the grand movie theater at Neverland, the carpet was a deep, rich red or blue, with gold patterns designed to evoke the glamour of old Hollywood movie palaces. This was a space for magic and escapism, and the carpet was the first thing that set the tone. This duality is key to understanding Michael. He built a palace, but he wanted it to have the warmth of a real home, a place where joy and play were encouraged. The carpets helped bridge that gap between opulence and comfort, creating a space that was both magical for him and inviting for others. Ultimately, the story of Michael Jackson's carpets is a story about the man himself. It reveals his duality. On one hand, he was the king of pop, a global superstar who lived in a world of unparalleled grandeur, reflected in the palatial designs and high-quality materials of his flooring. But on the other hand, the carpets reveal a deep need for comfort, safety, and privacy. They speak of a man who wanted to soften the edges of a hard world. The truth about Michael Jackson's carpets is not about hidden gold or secret tunnels. It's about the simple human desire to create a space where you feel safe, inspired, and truly yourself. The carpets were never the mystery. The mystery was always the man who walked upon them.